What's going on YouTube? It's Donnie B all day, and I got a bit of a rant for you today. Something that drives me freaking batty. I'm going to talk about my disdain and dislike for everybody out there that you see doing torture tests on knives, just for the sake to see what it's going to take to ruin the knife. Now, there's a difference between doing a knife review and doing a torture test on a knife. A knife review tells somebody exactly how good the knife they're interested in is going to be for the kind of use they're going to use it for. You want to know, is this knife going to perform in the way you need it to your specifications or your standards or your liking? To take a knife and purposely abuse it until its breaking point, basically what you're doing is you're spitting in the face of every knife maker out there, every forger, every blacksmith. You're spitting in their face by taking something that they worked very hard on. This right here, this is the Case American Worker Sodbuster. This is a work of art. This thing is just awesome. If I was to purposely break this for the sake of just to see what it would take to do that, that would make me an asshole. You got a group of people who design the knives, who, forge the knives, who build the knives, who package the knives, who clean the knives. You have all these people who work really hard to bring you a knife to do what the knife is intended for. And if you're taking this knife and using it for 1,000 purposes that it's not for, you have no right to complain if something goes wrong, right? So here's the thing. I saw this guy, and I know he's got a bunch of people out there that watch him, and why? I don't know. I just don't get it. If you're going to take something like this or something like this and you're going to pry with it, really pry. I'll do like minimal get it out of the wood prying when it comes to a lockback, but a lockback or a folder, it's not made for that kind of action. So to use it for it, you're an asshole. Just point blank. You're taking this knife, boop, and you're digging it in, or a knife just like it, and you are pulling as hard as you can to see what it's going to take to break right here. This is a lockback, right? They fold. That means it's not like this knife, right? This knife, full tank construction. If I was going to do a little prying with this, I would have more confidence because I know right here is all blade. It's going to be stiff. There's not a chance that I can break it here anyway if I'm just doing mild prying. This one, however, and any other folder just like this one, they're built in sections, right? So by prying, what you're doing is you're loosening this first rivet right here. That whatever is built right there to keep that blade on there, that's the part you're going to ruin first. Now, if you're talking about, and I'll use this as an example, the grind. You have to understand the grind, and most people don't. They have no idea what the difference between a saber grind or a hollow grind or flat grind. They have no idea what the difference is. So this one is a hollow grind. With a hollow grind, it's cut in like this, right, to the tip, and it makes it a very thin blade near the tip, but it makes it a very sharp blade. This is a hunting knife. It's made to do hunting skills, like anything that has to do with taking down and taking apart an animal. That's what this knife is made for, and this knife is great for it. This is not a hatchet. This is not an axe. I seen a guy take one of these and break a piece off of the blade right inside this edge because he was hacking like it's a machete or something. Listen, it's not what it's made for. It's a hollow grind, and it's a thin hollow grind, and it's a hollow grind hunting knife. It's a freaking hunting knife. If you are smashing the edge on a very hard surface and it breaks, you have no right to tell people that this is an inferior product, that this is cheap. The Buck Mesa is awesome. As you can see, I use this knife quite a lot. I use this often. It is sharp. It is strong. The edge is there. The tip is great. Why? Because I use it for things it's made to do, that it's made for. I do not abuse the shit out of this knife. So here's this guy. He does these knife reviews, and what he does is one of the things he does is he will hammer a knife into a block of wood, or a 4x4, and then he'll stand on it. He'll stand on the fucking knife. I mean, if this was a knife I made and I seen this guy doing that, I would go to his house and I would slap his fucking eyebrows off, because it's disrespect. You don't do that kind of thing, right? This is art. This is art. Respect it as such. Every video pretty much I'll do a throw, but I'm only at 5 yards. Sometimes, depending on the knife, if I don't have a lot of confidence in it, I'll even do a 3-yard throw. But I don't go across abusing, and I do it because I'm confident in my ability to throw, but I'm not hurling it with the greatest amount of power. And if it's a knife that I know is going to be able to take it, that a knife that's strong and a knife that's beefy, a nice flat grind or whatever, I know that I can throw it and it's going to be all right. But I'm not going to overthrow things. I'm not going to abuse the chance to show you what it can do. I'm going to take the knives and I'm going to show you. I did the entire Rambo knife collection. I have them sitting right behind me. Did the entire knife collection, and it came time to see if they can chop. Now they're novelty knives, so they're not chopping knives. So what did I do? I chopped them like this. They're not going to fucking go crazy and whack. Even though they're novelty knives that somebody still put effort into. Somebody worked hard on. So to do that, it's just stupid. You know what I mean? I don't drive my car 60 miles an hour into a wall to see if the bumpers work. It's just stupid. So, if you're watching knife reviews and you really want to know how good a knife is, don't watch people who are purposely abusing the knife to its breaking point, because that isn't telling you anything about the knife. It's telling you something about the sadistic asshole who's abusing the knife for his own pleasure. If you want to learn about the knife, watch somebody who's out there who's showing you what the knife can do and what it's good for. Because if it's not good for something, why do it? Just so you can break it? Just so you can lose a knife? And then what's happening is this guy is showing you, if I was to take this and pry with it like a moron and break it, then somebody out there who doesn't really understand is watching these videos and they're saying, oh my God, that's a cheap knife. Hell no, it's not a cheap knife. It's a cheap knife reviewer, right? So don't count your eggs and whatever the fuck they call it on watching somebody who uses them to their breaking point. Because this knife right here, using it for what it's made for, I know very, very well enough that I will never break this knife. And again, this is a knife that I use. This is a knife that I use very often. And the reason I have these out here is because I use them a lot, and they were sitting right on the table, literally right on the table. I use these a lot. And I'm just saying, guys, if you're going to buy a knife because it's good for what it's for, and don't buy it because you never saw somebody break one. Because if I judged this knife on the guy who broke this piece, I would have said, I will never buy that knife because it's a piece of shit. It's garbage. It's trash. No. And I bought this and I love it. And the reason why is because I don't listen to morons. I made up my mind because this is a hunting knife, and I knew that I could do what I needed to do with ease because it's made to do a specific something that is even greater than what I needed it for. So it's not an axe, it's not a hatchet. I'm not going to go chopping down trees with it. If I wanted to chop something, who knows, maybe I'll grab this, the SB5, you know what I mean? Even though it's a big clip point, but it's not a hollow grind, it's just a great flat grind. I will chop with this knife before I chop with this knife, because this knife is made for it. So literally, if you're going to go out and spend the money on a knife, at least understand the knife you're buying. Understand its purpose. If you're watching a video of torturing the knife and some guy is chopping cinder blocks, because that's what you need a knife for. I mean, I don't know how many people are out there in the market for cinder block knives, because that's not how we cut cinder blocks. But here's this guy out here and he's just smashing the edge on cinder blocks, and then he's showing you why it's chipping because you're hitting cinder blocks. You're a fucking idiot. Of course you're going to chip the edge. But that's not a testament to the edge he's testing, right? If you want to test the edge on what it's made to go through, or something similar. If you have a skinning knife and you want to show it, go through some cardboard, right? That's perfect. If you don't have skin to go through some cardboard. And if you're one of these people who loves to destroy knives because you think it's going to make a cool video, use your own skin. You know, I would love to see that. Safety first, guys. So here it is. Knife reviews. If you want to buy a knife, if you have interest in a certain knife, and you type in that knife, whatever it is, on eBay, or on YouTube, where we are, and you say, okay, I want to buy the Cold Steel, Steel Will Druid 200 series, blah, blah, blah. You say, that's the knife I want. You type it in. You're going to find somebody, and I didn't bring you this one yet, so don't look at it up yet, because I'll bring it to you, I promise. You're going to find somebody who's going to explain to you what makes this knife, and this knife is awesome, what makes this knife awesome, and what it's good for, what it's not good for. This knife is a great camp knife, happens to be great for everything. I will show you that at a later date. But what I'm saying is, find somebody who's showing you the knife that you want and showing you what it's good for and what it can do. Because realistically, you aren't buying a knife to cut cinder blocks. You aren't buying a knife to stick the tip into a 4x4 and stand on. You aren't buying a knife for any of that crap. So unless that's the deal, you know, this is what they're saying, I'll tell you what, man. Look at knife reviewers who review the knife, who respect the knife, right? It's like if you're looking at a gun reviewer, you're looking at somebody who's going to show you how the gun works. You're not going to watch somebody, you know, stick it under the mud 3 feet and fire 10 times and, you know, speed and quick fire. You're not going to see that because they're not fucking idiots, right? Here it is, guys. This thing, that thing, everything. All these knives that I'm showing you that I say are great, they're great because they do what they're supposed to do. I'm not going to show you how to break one, because that's not why I buy knives. That's not why you buy knives. There are some morons out there who specifically get knives to make videos to break them because they're assholes. That's my rant. It really grinds my gears, Peter. And I'll be bringing you some more stuff. We're going to go over a whole bunch more videos. Got some knives to bring you. Got some folders to bring you. I've got that steel will to bring you. We got some life straw stuff. We're going to probably do a little cabin. I'm going to show you a bunch of different things. And we're going to have some fun. So I am Donnie B all day. And until next knife.